Hello, my dear grandchildren. I have a very nice story here to read to you, and it's called Shop by Shirley Hughes. The very first thing we see is this really nice picture of Alfie's backyard. Can you see Alfie and Annie Rose? Do you see them? Alfie and Annie Rose. And there's Alfie's mom, and that's Alfie's grandmom, right? And let's see, it's just a very nice yard to play in. There's a gate to go out. And they've got some clothes on the line drying. And this big bush to play in. So it looks like Mom and Grandma have been having some tea. And this is a fun thing to play with. What's that? It's a sandbox, isn't it? Well, let's read this story together. It's called Shop. In Alfie's back garden, there was a big bush. You could lift up a curtain of leaves and walk inside. It was a nice, private place. One afternoon, Mom gave Alfie a long cardboard box to play with. Let's see his long cardboard box. Let's see what Alfie did with it. You see him here? He took it into the bush and put it down on its side. It made a good counter for a shop. We might call it a store. A good counter for a shop. Annie Rose is ready to play too, isn't she? Let's see what the children do with this. Oh, look at that collection of things. Some nice things there. Then Alfie and Annie Rose looked around the garden for something to sell in the shop. They found plenty of things lying about. Flower petals, seed pods, acorn cups, and a lot of different kinds of leaves. They laid them out on the counter using some very big leaves as plates. That was clever of them, wasn't it? They pretended they had vegetables and crisps. Crisps is what we would call potato chips. Vegetables and crisps and sweets, that would be candies, and ice creams in their shop. Not the kind you can really eat, of course. These were just for pretend, weren't they? And toys, too. When everything was nicely arranged, Alfie decided that what the shop needed now was some money. He fetched a little brown box with a lid, and they collected a lot of flat greenish yellow seeds, which rattled about inside like real money. You see their little yellowish green seeds that they're collecting to sound like money. I think the children are being very creative and inventive, aren't they? Coming up with some very good ideas for playing. That's a fun game. There we are. You see them talking to their mom and talking to their grandma. Let's see what's going on. Mom and Grandma were sitting in the garden having a cup of tea. Alfie asked them if they were coming to buy something at the shop. Yes, of course, said Grandma. But what's the name of your shop? Is it the Alfie and Annie Rose General Stores? No, said Alfie. It's called Louis Burroughs and Company. He knew that there was a proper shop called that in the High Street. Well, that's a very good name for a shop, isn't it? Louis Burroughs and Company. Well, Alfie put on his peaked cap to open up the shop, and Annie Rose wore an apron to be Mr. Louis Burroughs' lady assistant. You see all the things that they're selling here on the counter, and there's their money box. They're ready to sell some things, aren't they? And Mom and Annie Rose are going to come and be their first customers. See how they're coming to buy things at the store? Then Grandma and Mom came by to do some shopping. First they bought cabbages and ice cream. Then they bought lettuce and crisps and a model helicopter and a doll's tea set. Mr. Louis Burroughs took the money and counted out the change, and his assistant handed things over the counter. The shop stayed open all afternoon. Well, they did have a fun game, didn't they? When it was time to go indoors, Mom made a notice and fixed it with a piece of string so that Alfie could hang it up outside the shop. On one side it said, do you know what that word is? Open. On one side it said open. But when you turned it round, it said closed. So the store could be open or it could be closed. You see, there the sign says closed. The children have gone inside and the store is closed. Even Mr. Louis Burroughs has to go to bed sometime, I expect, said Mom. I hope you enjoyed that story. Maybe you can make a shop sometime. I love you.